to build, to grow, to someday look back and say, yes, I did it. America, land of opportunity. But let me tell you something no one tells you on day one. Opportunities don't chase you. You chase them. And most of the time, you're chasing them with tired legs, an empty wallet, and no idea where to begin. I worked jobs I never thought I'd do. Dishwashing, warehouse lifting, night shifts. I watched others buy stocks, talk about the market, invest, while I was counting quarters for gas money. But even on those dark days, I knew one thing. If there's one place on earth where you can rise from nothing, it's here. I just had to find my way in. And that's where trading came into my life. Not as a shortcut, not as a get-rich-quick scheme, but as a skill, a weapon, a mindset. That's when my journey truly began. Not the day I placed my first trade, but the day I decided that I would no longer let my background define my future. If you're watching this right now, if you're struggling, stuck, or just curious, this video isn't just a tutorial. It's a story, my story, of how I went from zero to trading stocks in the United States. Not just learning charts, but learning about myself, about fear, about control, about freedom. Because in the end, this is more than money. This is about reclaiming power over your life. So let's begin. This is how it all started. You see, no one tells you what rock bottom actually feels like until you hit it. And for me, rock bottom wasn't just about money. It was about identity. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I was living in a shared room with two other guys. No privacy, one mattress, a fan that barely worked. My phone was off because I couldn't pay the bill. I had $23 left in my checking account and $200 in rent due in 2 days. But the worst part, I had no plan, no direction, no clue how to fix it. I had come to America hoping for a fresh start, but all I had found was exhaustion. I worked at a warehouse for 10 hours a day, lifting boxes, clocking in before sunrise, clocking out after sunset. By the time I got home, I was too tired to think, let alone dream. And yet, every night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of the heat, but because of the heaviness inside. What am I doing with my life? Is this what I left everything behind for? Am I just meant to survive, paycheck to paycheck? The pain of comparison. I'd go on Instagram and see people driving Teslas, taking trips, making money from home. I knew some of it was fake, but still it burned. Because I wasn't lazy. I wasn't ungrateful. I was just lost. And I knew deep inside I was made for more. I just didn't know how to reach it. The trigger moment. Then came the moment that broke me. I called my mom back home after weeks of silence. I tried to sound happy. She asked, Beta, kush ho na? Tumhara sapna to para ho gaya na? Son, you're happy, right? Your dream came true, didn't it? And I couldn't speak. My throat locked up. Because no, my dream hadn't come true. I was living a life that looked like failure, just in a different country. I hung up, sat on the floor, and cried for the first time in years. Like truly cried. That was my rock bottom. That was the night I decided. Either I stay stuck or I fight. And I chose to fight. But fight how? I didn't have degrees. I didn't have savings. I didn't have connections. But I had time. And I had the internet. And most importantly, I had hunger. Not just for money, but for meaning. For control over my life. That's when the idea of trading first whispered into my world. Not as a business, but as a hope. As a question. Can people really learn to trade? Can I learn it? Can someone like me do it? At that moment, I didn't have the answers. But I had made the decision. I will learn. I will try. And I will not die with regret. That was the turning point. And that was the first step toward the world of trading. After hitting rock bottom, something inside me flipped. I didn't want to just survive anymore. I wanted to learn something powerful. Something that could change my life. Not instantly, but eventually. I started searching online. How to make money online in the USA. Side hustles that actually work. How to earn from home legally. Most of what I saw felt like scams. Courses. Dropshipping. Surveys. Affiliate this, affiliate that. Too many promises. Too many flashy lumbos. Too many lies. But then one YouTube video caught my eye. A man sitting in front of multiple screens. No fancy background. No Rolex. Just charts, calm energy, and a whiteboard behind him. The title was something like, How I Made $100 in the Stock Market from My Bedroom. $100? That wasn't millions. That wasn't clickbait. That was real. I watched the full video. Then the next one. And the next. What pulled me in? It wasn't just about the money. It was the idea that you could control your time, your income, from a laptop. No boss, no ceiling, just skill. He talked about terms like stocks, options, charts, risk management, discipline. All of it sounded alien to me at first. But for the first time in a long time, my brain felt awake. I wasn't watching Netflix to escape anymore. I was watching trading videos to learn. The first action step. I didn't even know where to begin, so I Googled how to open a trading account in the USA. That's when I found names like Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity. And guess what? Some of them allowed zero commission trading. That was huge. I downloaded Robinhood first. Simple UI, easy to understand. I didn't put money in yet, but I started watching stocks move. It felt like I had discovered a secret world. Charts moving every second. Green, red, candles, volume. It was like watching a heartbeat. And I wanted to understand every beat. My first investment. After 2 weeks of research, I finally deposited $100. That money wasn't just cash. It was my belief. Belief that I could learn something bigger than myself. I bought a share of a tech stock. I think it was Ford or Apple, something safe, cheap. I remember refreshing the app every hour, watching the price move 10 cents. It felt like I was trading billions. But even though I made just a few cents, I felt rich, because I was finally investing in myself. The emotional spark. More than the profit, it was the power that lit me up. No boss, no time card, no manager breathing down my neck. Just me, my decisions, and my ability to get better every day. That first week, I didn't make much. I didn't care, because I had found purpose again. I had found hope. And from that moment, I knew, I'm not here to gamble. I'm here to grow. I'm going to become a trader. The stock market became my new classroom. But this wasn't like school. There were no teachers, no syllabus, no mercy. And trust me, the learning curve hits hard. Chart decreasing the first loss. I remember my first real trade. I had watched 20 hours of YouTube videos, felt confident, saw a stock trending, and thought, let's go bigger. So I bought in. No stop loss, no plan, just hope. And guess what? The stock dropped within minutes. My $100 turned into $72, just like that. I felt sick. I stared at the screen like it was broken. How could it fall so fast? Why didn't I sell? Why didn't I wait? The market didn't take my money. My mindset did. Roller coaster, emotional roller coaster. That was the start of a pattern every new trader knows. Make a little profit. Get excited. Go in heavier. Lose double. Get angry. Try to win it back. Lose more. It's called revenge trading. And it's a trap. I was stuck in a loop of fear, greed, regret, repeat. I'd trade at work, on breaks, in the bathroom, thinking I could flip my account. But flipping isn't trading. It's gambling dressed up as ambition. Lightbulb the turning point, self-awareness. One day, after a brutal $80 loss in one morning, I had a moment of clarity. If I don't control myself, I'll never control the market. That hit me hard. So I stopped, took a deep breath, and decided to do the one thing most people skip. Backhand index pointing right, go back to basics. I started journaling my trades, writing down why I entered, what I felt, where I went wrong, what I learned. I watched free courses from real traders, not influencers, but discipline-first traders. And slowly, I began to change. White heavy checkmark, first tiny wins. One day, I made $6 profit on a trade, but it was planned, risk-managed, and clean. That $6 felt like $600, because I didn't win by luck. I won by process. That's when I realized, if I can follow rules and win small, I can survive. If I can survive, I can improve. And if I can improve, I can win big someday. Hammer and wrench, mistakes that taught me everything. Here are the hard truths I had to learn the hard way. Trading without a plan is financial suicide. I lost so much money just clicking buttons based on emotion. Being right means nothing if you can't manage risk. Even when I was right, I held too long or got greedy. It's not about how much you make, it's about how little you lose. Survival is the first step. Growth comes after. Your mindset is your biggest edge. No strategy works if your emotions are in control. Speech balloon, what kept me going. Some days I wanted to quit. I questioned everything. But you know what kept me going? A simple vision in my mind. Me, sitting in my own apartment, trading from my laptop free. That dream wasn't about millions. It was about freedom, about ownership. That's why I kept learning, kept showing up, even when it was slow, even when no one believed in it. Because every small win, every mistake, was a brick in my foundation. Most people think trading is all about strategy, indicators, or the perfect setup. But I learned something far more important, something they don't teach in most courses. The real game isn't on the chart, it's in your mind. When I started trading, I was emotional, impulsive, addicted to action. I wanted quick results. I confused speed with progress. And I confused trading with gambling. Slot machine gambler's mentality, what it looks like. Let me show you the mindset I had in the beginning, and maybe you'll relate. I chased stocks that had already exploded. I bought based on hope, not logic. I didn't care about risk management. I celebrated wins like a jackpot. I blamed the market when I lost. Sound familiar? That's not trading. That's spinning a roulette wheel with fancy candles and ticker symbols. The truth? If you treat trading like a casino, the market becomes the house, and the house always wins. Counterclockwise arrows button, what changed? It didn't happen overnight. But slowly, I stopped asking. Cross mark, how much can I make? And started asking. White heavy check mark, how much can I lose and still survive? I began to shift from a money-focused mindset to a process-focused mindset. Here's what that looked like. 1. I created my own rules. Not some strategy one bought online. My own rules based on what I was seeing, learning, and testing. I only traded stocks within a certain price range. I never risked more than 1% of my account per trade. I stopped trading after 2 red trades. I journaled every single trade. The key wasn't perfection. It was consistency. Gamblers chase excitement. Traders follow systems. 2. I learned to love boring. I used to think, more trades equals more money. But that's the gambler talking. Now I know. Fewer, smarter trades equals more peace. Sometimes I'd go days without trading. And it felt good. Because I wasn't chasing dopamine. I was building discipline. Real traders are okay being bored. Because they know consistency pays more than chaos. 3. I stopped trying to be right. In gambling, the goal is to win the bet. In trading, the goal is to manage your risk, even when you're wrong. Once I accepted that being wrong is part of the game, everything changed. I stopped tying my identity to every trade. If I followed my rules, it was a good trade, win or lose. If I broke my rules, it was a bad trade, no matter the outcome. Traders manage risk. Gamblers manage hope. 4. I controlled my emotions. Trading forces you to face your inner demons. Fear. What if I lose again? Greed. This one will double my account. Overconfidence. I can't lose now. I started meditating before I traded. I'd ask myself, am I calm? Am I clear? Or am I chasing? Sometimes the best trade is no trade. A calm mind equals a sharp trader. A reactive mind equals a future loser. 5. I focused on longevity. Gamblers think about the next win. Traders think about the next 1,000 trades. So I stopped thinking about how to grow fast and started thinking about how to not blow up. Because if you stay in the game long enough, your skills catch up. I made a decision. I don't need to impress anyone. I just need to become someone I can respect. Brain from gambler to trader, my mental checklist. Before every session, I'd go through this mental checklist. White heavy check mark, am I trading my edge or my ego? White heavy check mark, do I know where I'll exit? Win or lose? White heavy check mark, if this trade fails, will I still respect myself? White heavy check mark, if I win, will I stay humble? White heavy check mark, am I acting from discipline or from fear? This checklist changed my trading. But more importantly, it changed me. Checkered flag, progress over perfection. Let's be honest, even now, I still make mistakes. I still overtrade sometimes. I still get tempted, but I bounce back faster. Because I'm not just building a trader's skill. I'm building a trader's identity. This isn't a shortcut. This is a shift from randomness to responsibility, from chasing to choosing, from gambling to growth. Every trader remembers that one trade, not the biggest win, not the flashiest ticker, but the trade that makes you believe, maybe I can actually do this. For me, it wasn't about the money. It was about the clarity, the conviction, the shift. Let me take you back to that moment. Tear off calendar, the setup, nothing special. At first, it was just another weekday morning. I was up early, coffee in one hand, trading journal in the other. I had my watch list, my plan, my rules. One stock caught my eye. Let's call it $XYZ, a mid-cap stock, pre-market volume rising, news catalyst, a strong earnings beat, chart pattern, bullish flag. But here's the thing, I didn't FOMO in. I didn't jump the gun. I waited. The mindset was different this time. This time, I wasn't trading out of desperation. I wasn't looking for a savior trade. I was calm, prepared, focused. I had my entry level marked. I had my risk defined. I had my exit strategy written down before clicking buy. I reminded myself, this isn't about winning. This is about executing the process. Light bulb the execution. Clean, calm, confident. Price hit my entry. I entered with controlled size. It started moving. Not fast, not explosive, but steady in my direction. Then a pullback. Old me would have panicked. But not today. I checked my plan. My stop loss was safe. No emotion. Just patience. Then it happened. Chart increasing, a strong breakout above the flag. Volume surge. Momentum. I took partial profits at my first target. Let the rest ride with a trailing stop. That trade ended green. Not huge, but clean. Disciplined. Right. Repeat button the aftermath. More than just a green trade. When I closed that trade, I didn't jump up. I didn't celebrate like I hit a lottery. I just sat there, quiet, and a thought hit me like a wave. So this is what professional trading feels like. It wasn't about the money. It was about the control. It was about the growth. That one trade didn't change my bank account. It changed my belief system. Why that trade mattered. Let me tell you why that trade was a breakthrough. 1. White heavy check mark. I followed my plan, not my feelings. No gut calls. No random guesses. Every step was intentional. A gambler bets. A trader executes a plan. 2. Person in lotus position. I stayed emotionally neutral. The old me would have freaked out during the pullback. But that day, I breathed through it. Stayed present. Trusted the process. Emotional stability is a trader's superpower. 3. Notebook. I learned more from that one trade than 50 before it. Because I journaled it, reviewed it, studied it. That trade became a blueprint. Not a strategy blueprint. A mental blueprint for what right feels like. Fire confidence through proof. Here's the big truth. You can read all the books. Watch all the YouTube tutorials. Take all the courses. But nothing builds confidence like a personal proof point. And that was mine. Not because I got rich, but because I proved to myself that I could trade the right way. That trade became the anchor I'd return to during tough times. Speech balloon. My journal entry that night. Here's what I wrote that night. Notebook. Today felt different. I didn't just win. I traded like the person I've been trying to become. The size didn't matter. The outcome didn't matter. The process did. For the first time, I felt in control. This is the path. This is the proof. And I've been building on that ever since. Direct hit from a breakthrough to a baseline. Was it perfect? No. Did I lose the next day? Yes. But something had clicked. I now had a standard to aim for. A reference point for how I wanted to trade and who I wanted to be. That one trade became the pivot in my story. Not because of money, but because of mindset. After that first breakthrough trade, everything felt possible, but also more complicated. Because now I had to ask myself, how do I grow from here? How do I turn small wins into something real? How do I scale without blowing up? Chart increasing. The challenge of scaling. Scaling up your trading account is a double-edged sword. More money means more opportunity, but it also means more risk. Bigger trades mean bigger pressure. Bigger pressure means bigger chances to make mistakes. The goal became clear. Grow smart, grow steady, grow disciplined. Lightbulb. The 3 rules I followed to scale up. 1. Never risk more than 1% per trade. No matter how confident I felt, 1% was my max risk. This rule kept me alive through rough patches. It gave me breathing room to learn from mistakes. And it forced me to be selective, no chasing every shiny stock. 2. Use position sizing to manage risk. I learned that bigger account doesn't mean bet bigger blindly. It means adjusting position size based on how volatile the stock is, how tight my stop loss is, how confident I am in the setup. This way, I scaled responsibly, not recklessly. 3. Focus on reward to risk ratio. I looked for trades where potential reward was at least 2x my risk. If a trade didn't meet this rule, I didn't take it. This kept my profits growing faster than my losses. Fire the mental shift to managing pressure. Scaling isn't just numbers, it's psychological. As my account grew, so did my emotional stakes. Fear of losing more money, greed to make bigger profits faster, doubt creeping in during losing streaks. I learned that scaling successfully meant mastering myself even more. Meditation, journaling, and having a clear plan before every trade became essential. Chart increasing with yen, the first time I scaled big. I remember the first time I risked $100 on a single trade. It felt huge. My heart raced, but I stuck to my plan. Precise entry, defined stop loss, clear profit targets. The trade went well. I didn't get greedy. I took my profit when the plan said so. That trade gave me proof I could handle bigger risk with smarter discipline. Bar chart growing the account, one step at a time. It wasn't magic. It was slow progress. Adding a little more size here. Being patient with profits. Learning from losses quickly. I kept my focus on consistency over big wins. Collision: the importance of protecting your capital. The biggest lesson? Protect your capital like your life depends on it. Because it does. No matter how big your account grows, if you blow up, you start over. Direct hit final thoughts on scaling. Scaling is a journey with ups, downs, and constant learning. But it's also where the difference between hobby traders and pros really shows up. If you want to make trading your career, respect risk. Manage your emotions. Stay disciplined. Grow step by step. Trading isn't a fairy tale. It's not all wins, charts, and easy money. If you want to succeed, you need to face the hard truths. I learned them the hard way. And today, I want to share these lessons with you, so you don't have to learn them the same way. Collision truth number 1. You will lose money. No matter how good you get, losses are part of the game. Every trader loses. The question is, how do you handle losses? I lost more money than I care to admit. I lost money because I overtraded, ignored my rules, let emotions control me. The difference came when I accepted losses as part of the process, not failure. Anxious face with sweat truth number 2. Emotions will betray you. Fear, greed, hope. These are your biggest enemies. I remember times when fear stopped me from taking a trade that turned out perfect. Or greed made me hold on too long, turning profits into losses. Emotional control isn't optional. It's a skill you must develop. Mantelpiece clock truth number 3. There are no shortcuts. Trading success takes time, patience, and discipline. The internet is full of get-rich-quick promises. But real growth is slow and steady. I spent months, even years, grinding through mistakes and setbacks. Brain truth number 4. Your mindset matters more than your strategy. You can have the best system in the world. But if your mindset is weak, you will fail. The real battle is inside your head. Learning to think like a professional trader made all the difference for me. Lightbulb truth number 5. Risk management is everything. You can make the best predictions, but if you don't manage risk, one bad trade will wipe you out. I learned to protect my capital above all else. Without capital, you can't trade. Counterclockwise arrows button truth number 6. Expect setbacks and keep moving forward. You will hit rough patches. You will doubt yourself. The key is resilience. Every time I failed, I asked, what can I learn? How do I improve? Hammer and wrench truth number 7. You must constantly adapt and learn. Markets change. Strategies that worked yesterday may fail tomorrow. The best traders keep learning, keep evolving. Megaphone final words. Trading is tough. It will test you mentally, emotionally, financially. But if you accept the hard truths, if you prepare yourself for the challenges, you can build a career and a life you're proud of.